Hello, everyone, and a very, very warm welcome to this new talk show with Jermina that we are at Moolah bringing to all of you. And it's called Moolah Wisdom. And we have with us the very beautiful Jermina here. And thank you, Jermina, for joining us. And just to very quickly introduce Jermina to you, and also what you should expect in these sessions or these episodes that we are going to bring to you. First, to introduce Jermina. So Jermina is professionally, she is a retail marketing specialist. And she's actually began her journey of earning really at 18 when she was 18 years old. And she started investing her first bit of money when she was 21. And ever since, she's been not only managing her money, but investing it and growing it. And she finds herself totally passionate about not only doing it for herself, but she also encourages a lot of women around whoever she meets to become independent financially in the true sense, in the sense that not only earning their money, but saving it and investing it, because that's what the important thing is. It's not just about, earning your money, but also saving and truly feeling financially independent at the end of it. So she's going to share with us in these few episodes her real life experiences and encourage all of us here to say that it's really not difficult. We kind of make it larger than life. We start thinking, oh, finance is boring, it's very difficult, it's not for me. And here she is to demystify some of these things. So thank you so much, Jermina, for being here today with us. And our first episode or our first talk today is going to be more about savings, right? And how important savings are in this whole process of being financially independent. So Jermina, can I ask you the first question, that why should you save? Maybe two questions. Why should you save, and how much should you save? What do you think?
So first of all, Meeta, thank you very much for allowing me to reach a lot more women than my immediate circle of friends and family. And I really hope that together we get more women on their financial journey with this series. And how much to save and when to start saving, I think it's very simple. You need to save regularly. You need to save minimum every month. If you can do it every week, nothing like it. It's a discipline. It is something which actually needs to be done as regularly as eating, sleeping, all of that. Why? Because a lot of us are need money to spend. We also need money for the future, for expected expenses, unexpected expenses. We want to buy a house of our own. We want to go on holidays. We want to educate our children at the best places. We also want to keep something for, say, medical emergencies or anything untoward. And you cannot expect to have a massive lump sum sitting unless and until you have worked on it. So I think saving is something which definitely needs to be done every month. I have done it for, I think, almost 25 plus years now, and I continue to do so even now because it's important. How much? Well, at the minimum level, I would say at least 10% of your income. And when I say 10% of your income, ensure every time your income grows, that 10% is of the next income. And in fact, as you start growing in your income, you may probably even want to take the percentage up. 10 can become 12%, 12 becomes 15, 15 perhaps even becomes 18, 20, 25. They may seem very unrealistic numbers right now, but believe me, as one grows in their career, one increases in their income, it's actually something that is very easily doable. Another important tip is that we have to set a date to it and try and keep it as much as possible closer to your salary or income receiving date, and ensure you first take care of your savings and then take care of your expenses. So get those 10% out. Otherwise, this temptation is always there that, oh, this month I want to indulge in this, indulge in that. Or agle mahine main double kar lungi. Wo double kabhi hota hi nahi hai. That's the reality. And that's why I think that consistency is very, very important.
So how did you begin? I mean, you started in saving as early as 18 and you started investing as early as 21. How did you begin?
I am a typical 80s India child, typical middle class parents where amount available was limited. I had a princely rupees 200, pocket money, when I was in college, I mean, it may sound nothing now, but it was maybe 500 or 600 would have been a decent one otherwise. But instead of 600, I was getting 200 because, well, my parents didn't have that kind of affordability. What I did was I participated in a lot of exhibitions or did a lot of odd jobs to get that additional 300 or 400 which I needed. Whether it was to buy myself a dress without any occasion like a festival or birthday, whether it was to be able to buy my friends' birthday gifts without necessarily asking my parents for extra money, whether it was even just, going to a nice movie or a restaurant with your friends. Yeah. So I think it was very important for me to be able to indulge myself or, have money for what I needed and not necessarily keep asking my parents because I knew very well that they had given what they could.
That's really incredible. I mean, at such a young age to say that, okay, I have certain more desires and I know my parents can only afford so much and the rest I need to earn myself. But then my question is, that was all for your needs and wants. What propelled you to start saving and then investing, especially being a girl, and a girl child at that time? For most people, it's like, array, this is not our work, right? So, I mean, how saving, how investing? One is earning, but saving, investing, and how, despite being a girl child, what were the thoughts there?
I think there were two reasons for it. One, like you rightly said, initially my income was more because my wants were higher than what I could afford. Yeah. But once I finished college and I started my first job at 20 and a half, I actually celebrated my 21st birthday in office. And I realized that now I had a lot more money than, I thought I would need. And it immediately became important to start saving it. I think I would also give the credit to my father, who, being a typical middle class parent, always kept telling us right through our high school and college years that I will always give you money for your education and I will save for your education. Don't expect me to also save for your marriage. You know, so don't have higher expectations on that. I'm not going to say no on education, but that is something if you have some fancy plans for a wedding or anything of that sort, you might need to, kind of start with that, saving yourself for it. So I think that was the first step, knowing that uh, my dad had probably stopped spending on me since I had started working now, and I needed to start saving for my future. Of course, initially it was like a wedding expense, but once I started on my investment journey and, over 12, 18 months, when you saw the growth, you knew you could have more. And I was in an India which was growing. 90s was when the economy opened up and you could see the many options. People were starting to buy cars, people were starting to go on holidays more often. So I think you knew that there would be extra money needed. And while I was earning, again, my parents said, we don't want anything from your money. Keep it away for yourself in the future. So I really had the luxury of saving almost 80% of what I earned when I started. And having seen it grow over the 12 to 18 months of my early career journey was enough reason for me to continue doing it. Of course, as I got married and had family responsibility and now needed to use my salary, I probably came down in my investment to the 10-15% I was talking of. But the point was, I didn't stop. Temptations were there to stop and do something else, but I didn't stop.
So, do you think you were very aspirational because of which you kind of started your saving and investment journey early? Or do you think it was more of tension and anxiety ki, array, my parents will not take care of me and I think I need to start taking care of myself? Or what were your thoughts if you remember any of that?
So, Meeta, I think when he said, I'm not going to give you anything for marriage, he didn't mean it literally, he meant it figuratively. He did, of course, shoulder a fair half of my wedding expenses. I wouldn't say he didn't do that. But what he meant was that, one, you have started earning. He didn't ask me for any contribution in the house or anything of that sort. He said very clearly that it's going to be in your bank, but it's going to be in your bank for this reason. He actually even increased my pocket allowance because I was not still allowed to use my money in some ways. I was told keep it saved up in the bank. And he actually increased my pocket money from 200 to 500, which was a great amount. And I think that really kind of gave me the flexibility to start saving. And while he did give me a pocket money, I still saved, like I told you, about 80%. And as I saw the 80% grow, initially it was through some stocks. I straight away went to stocks because it sounded exciting, as a 21-year-old. Rationality may not be there, but again, I was also not brash. So I kind of discussed with my seniors and, chose some good A-grade stocks at that time. One stock is still with me. I think it's a very emotional investment. I will never sell it. And it's given me, like, I think 20 times the rewards. And at two great milestones, I have redeemed some of it to really make, like, the lump sum payment, down payment for my house was made out of the first stock I invested in. And it's really grown manyfold over the years. So today it's an emotional investment for me, but it stays there in my portfolio. So that's what it really was, that, we don't want your money, so start saving your money for yourself. That was the first lesson.
I think that's such a brilliant thing from your parents' perspective, your dad's perspective specifically, because for most women and for most girls, money is never discussed at home. Forget about saving, investment, or talking about future, or saying that, Arey, you must save for this and save for that. It's like that topic is never broached at home. And so most girls are pretty oblivious about something that, they need to start taking charge of themselves or their lives for whatever, whether it's their marriage or their future or whatever, right? And so when they get, when they become older and they start earning, it's like, okay, we're earning now, but they don't have any thought process that they should start saving.
Right.
So in so many families I've seen, and especially because I am meeting so many women as a part of Moolah, I realize that most women don't have that concept of saving at all. They don't know why to save or how to save. So do you think having financial goals is something which helps you save? Or is it, of course, the fact that, your parents were the ones who encouraged you, and having the right family setup also encourages you to save? But do you think financial goals also help you, having financial goals also helps you in creating more savings for yourself and investing for yourself?
Yes, financial goals are absolutely important because, like you rightly mentioned, maybe I started earning to indulge. Maybe some part of my first salary also went in, some kind of indulgences. But hey, I'm a 20-year-old, I was allowed to do that. But as I got married and as we had responsibilities, and as we decided we need to buy a house, we had a child, and when my son was 3 years old, once I felt like, we keep saying hamara sab kuch uska hi rahega, but then when you looked, you really had very little. And that's when the penny dropped, saying now invest. So I think it is goal oriented is absolutely essential, because then you remain focused. I will keep saying it again, that consistency, that monthly investment, it's so important, and only a goal can really help you achieve that. So I think a goal is very important. And I would also say, even having a goal saying next Diwali I want to buy myself this piece of jewelry is also not a bad goal. I think sometimes we are made to feel guilty of things we want, especially working women. While it's much lesser than probably what my mother earned, but there are people who think, okay, she buys 10 saris when she can do with 5 only because she's earning.
I agree with you on the fact that, you should enjoy your wealth, right? I think the whole feeling that, you must keep saving for a rainy day really must go out of our systems, because we should have happy thoughts when we think about money, when we think of saving our money. And I think having financial goals and having positive financial goals, whether it's education, travel, retirement, or anything, it has to be with a positive spunk that, I want to have fun in my life, and that's why I'm saving. Because the moment we do that, when we save our money and keep that money aside, we give it some positive energy, and giving that positive energy makes us feel fulfilled. You don't feel deprived when you're saving that money. Arey, I can't spend on this and I have to save. Wo nahi hota phir. I think what happens is that you very joyfully start saving. Do you think that was the case with you too in some which way?
I think it is still there, and I am still continuing to invest in, smaller indulgences. So, today, for example, a lot of jewelry brands have schemes. I think even that's an investment mode. If your objective is jewelry, go ahead with that. Yeah. Stop feeling guilty. Stop feeling you don't deserve it. Stop feeling you need to ask somebody for the big purchases. I think that is the main thing, that get what you want and get it yourself. Don't be dependent on others. To me, that's the big thing. Make that decision, make that choice, and be happy with it, and work towards it. It will happen.
And I think the other thing is, don't compare yourself to others, right? Because I think what happens is most of the time we'll say that, "Arey, usne ye bada ghar khareed liya, ya usne wo gaadi khareed li." Now, whether you need that car or if that is your financial goal, then sure be it. But don't do it just because somebody else is doing it, right? Create your own financial
Absolutely.
goals and start and take those baby steps. I think I always remember the story of the hare and the tortoise to say that it ultimately is the tortoise which wins because of slowly, steadily going step by step and winning the race in the end. So I think that was a beautiful, starting, Jermina. We've like had some interesting discussions. And I think for me, the key takeaways from today would be: start early, save and invest with discipline, be patient with your money, save before you spend, something which I think even Warren Buffett says, right? That save before you spend. And yeah, be happy, create happy money around yourself. Don't do it with a negative mindset or a negative thought. And of course, enjoy your wealth. After you save, the rest of it is all for us to enjoy, right? So like someone said that someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree yesterday. And
Wow, what a quote! What a quote!
thank you so much, Jermina. I think this was beautiful, a beautiful start to our series, and I look forward to welcoming you in the second one.
Thanks, Meeta, and really look forward to continuing with this chat. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.